everybody, thank you for joining us today. My name is Nikita and I'm the product manager at Tax 990. Today we're going to talk about the process of using the reviewers and approvers feature inside the Tax 990 application. If you have questions during the presentation, please add them to the chat and we'll address them at the end of the webinar. We do want to mention we're not tax advisors and we will not be providing specific tax advice. We will purely be discussing IRS e-filing requirements and the process of e-filing with Tax 990. For specific tax questions, please contact your tax advisor or the IRS. This presentation will be recorded and available at tax990.com. During today's webinar, we'll be discussing the purpose of the reviewer process, who you could share the return with, the difference between reviewers and approvers, and staff management. And we'll go through a demonstration of using the reviewers and approver feature within the Tax 990 application. As mentioned, at the end of the webinar, we'll do a live Q&A. Organizations and Tax 990 clients use our reviewer and approver process for a lot of different purposes. You can use this process for basic confirmation, basically just getting a second pair of eyes on the form. Just to confirm the information provided on the form is accurate based on the organization, financial information, activities, so on and so forth. Make sure you didn't forget anything important, leave members off, those types of things. And it allows members from the organization to confirm the information reported prior to filing. For example, if you're the treasurer and you're filing the form and you're not 100% sure on what the top 3 program service accomplishments are, you may be able to share that return with somebody within the organization that can confirm that information for you. So it allows you to, 1, get a second pair of eyes on the form, and 2, get confirmation that everything you entered is accurate before you proceed. A lot of organizations do have a policy with either their board of directors or their president that the form must be reviewed and approved before the person completing the form transmits it to the IRS. So this feature allows you to get that board approval or that president approval or whoever the necessary person is prior to filing. Tax 990 does offer the option to file returns as a paid preparer. So a CPA or an accountant could file the return on behalf of an organization. And the reviewer and approver process for those types of clients allows the preparer, the CPA or the accountant, to share the return with their client. So with the organization that they're filing on behalf of before transmitting it. So it's just confirming, giving the client an opportunity to review before transmitting. The reviewer and approver, so whoever you send it to for review and approval, they'll receive a PDF of the form to look over. They can submit a comment that the Tax 990 account holder can review and respond to, but they cannot make changes to the form itself. They can't edit the form, they can't delete anything. All they can do is leave a comment and submit that back to the Tax 990 account holder. The Tax 990 account holder can review the comment and respond to the reviewer with a notification that it's been updated or explain why they provided that response in that section, so on and so forth. But the reviewer cannot actually change anything, and we get a lot of confusion on that because the clients don't want to send it to somebody and them change everything without the approval of the Tax 990 client. So essentially, you're sending a PDF to the reviewer. They're going to review the PDF and comment on it or click the button to approve it. And we'll look at that process a little bit closer here in a few minutes. A few other things that we get a lot of questions on with this feature is if the approval is required before the Tax 990 account holder can proceed. So the review and approval process comes after the form is completed, the audit is completed, the payment is completed, and then you share the return. So it confirms that you've completed the form 100% prior to sharing it. Now, if you share it with several members and 3 out of 4 of them approve it, but you're waiting on that last approval, you can proceed with the form. The reviewer and approver process does not prohibit you from transmitting your form. It's just a feature that allows you to get that approval prior to filing if you want to. But keep in mind, once you transmit the return, changes can no longer be made to the form. So if you're waiting on an approval from one of your reviewers and you go ahead and transmit and that final approver leaves a comment, you can't go back and change anything on the form. So once it's transmitted, changes can no longer be made, but you can proceed with transmitting without all of your reviewers successfully approving the form. Also, it's not required. It's a feature, so it's optional. If you don't need to share the return with anybody, if you're ready to just go ahead and transmit it, you can click the Share Manually option, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes, and proceed without sharing. Share manually really just means that you acknowledge that in the future, if necessary, you can download a PDF of the form and you can print it or email it to any necessary individual that wants to take a look at it. Who do you share the return with? What kind of people do organizations typically share a return with? As I mentioned, a lot of the time it's a board member or an organization member. The board member can review and approve prior to filing, or the organization members can take a look at it if you need to send it to your treasurer, or again, like I said, your president or another member of the organization for review prior to filing. That's the majority of who people share their returns with. As I mentioned, if you're a tax preparer, you can share the return with your client prior to filing. So if you're filing on behalf of an organization, then you can share the return with your client so they can review it. And you can also share the return if you just want confirmation from your tax preparer. If your organization has an in-house tax advisor that they use and you need some confirmation from your tax advisor, you can share it with them as well. We do have a lot of people that do that. Really, the opportunity to share the return is endless. Anybody that you feel necessary as the Tax 990 account holder, you can share that return with. You'll only need their email address to be able to send it to them, and then they'll need the EIN to access it. But again, we're going to go through that here in just a little bit. So we get a lot of questions about the difference between the staff management feature and the review and approver feature. Those are two 100% different features. As I've mentioned, the reviewer and approver feature is for sharing the PDF copy of the form for visual review. No edits can be made, nothing can be changed or deleted, nothing can be transmitted from a reviewer. It's just strictly a second set of eyes on the form. The staff management option allows you as the account holder to bring in additional members of your team to assist with completing the form. So with the staff management, the people that you invite to manage the form or assist with the form would be able to edit the form, delete the form, start a new form, transmit the form. Anything that you can do in your Tax 990 account, the staff that you provide access to can also do from their Tax 990 account that they would create once you provide them access. So those are two completely different features. If you have questions on the staff management feature, please reach out to us because we would be happy to provide more information on that. But we do want everyone to understand that those are not one and the same. If you go to your account settings and you click staff management thinking that it's the ability to provide the board of directors review to the form, that is not that process. There's reviewers and approvers, and then there's staff management. Okay, so now we're going to go into our Tax 990 account and take a look at the process of the share, review, and approver return application. So I've logged into my Tax 990 account here, and I've already got a form set up and ready because today we're just taking a look at this one feature. So we're going to go ahead and click Continue Filing on our Paid Not Transmitted form. And as you can see, we've already completed the whole form. We've gone through all of the pages here and added all of our information, and now we are ready to file this form to the IRS. So we're going to go ahead and click Proceed to Audit and Transmit. From here, this is the return summary, just giving a basic explanation of the information you've provided. We're going to click Continue to Audit. As I've mentioned in several of our other webinars, and we'll talk about again in a few minutes as one of our feature spotlights, we do offer an internal audit to make sure that your form has met all of the IRS form instructions, and it allows you to resolve any of those errors that you have that don't meet the IRS instructions prior to filing. So you can see here that we don't have any errors in our return, and we can proceed to the next step. Now, I've already processed payment on this form, and as I mentioned, you don't have the option to share the form until the payment has been processed. So once you process your payment, you'll be able to share your return either electronically or share the return manually. The share manually option is what you're going to select if you don't need to share the return at all. If you're either planning to download a PDF and physically give somebody a copy of the form in a paper format, you can choose share manually. If your organization isn't required to share anything, then you can click share manually and just click next to proceed to the next step. Today we're going to share electronically to allow our reviewers to get an electronic copy of the form, make comments, and indicate their approval. So we'll click share electronically, and then we're going to go ahead and add somebody. So you're going to need their contact name, their phone number, and their email address. And then we're going to click Share Return. Now we see here that Nikita has been invited to share the form. If you ever have a question on that or you need to resend, you can go up to your My Account settings and your Manage Reviewers and Approvers. You can choose the organization and the tax year, and then from that drop down, you can either disable the access, so you changed your mind, you don't want to share it with them. You can edit it in case there was a typo in the email address. You can edit the information and resend it. You can delete it, or you can re-invite the person. So if you sent it 4 days ago and they haven't responded to you yet, you can send a new invitation so they can access that. This is also where you're going to view any comments that are left by the reviewer. Now, once you've shared the return, the person you shared it with is going to get an email that looks like this. It's going to indicate that the account holder has shared the return for an organization for a specific tax year and a specific form, and that person will click Sign In to access that form. Then they're going to input their email address that was used for the invite. So whoever the account holder sent the invite to, they'll use that email address. And then they'll create their own password. We do not provide a password. The Tax 990 account holder does not provide a password. The client has to create a password and click Sign In. Once they add their email address and create a password and sign into the account, it'll look like this. It'll just kind of explain the process for the review and approval. So you'll just, okay, got it. Now we're going to find the form in reference, and we'll confirm that the form and tax year match what we received in our email, and be able to review a PDF copy. Once we download the PDF, we can review the information provided. As you can see, everything that the Tax 990 account holder completed is available. You can scroll through and take a look at everything, but you cannot edit. When you've reviewed the form as the reviewer and approver, now if you have a comment, you can type your comments in over here and click Add Comment. When you add the comment, the main account holder, when the reviewer adds a comment, the main account holder will be notified via email that a comment has been added by the reviewer. Now the Tax 990 account holder can go back into their account and look at the View Comment section to see the comment that was left and respond to that comment. So when the main account holder, if they choose to respond to their comment, they can post a comment and the reviewer will be notified as well. So you can have a back and forth conversation with your reviewers and approvers before they approve the form if they notice anything specific. So I know this is a lot of back and forth and I apologize, but now when we go back into the reviewer and approver portal, you'll see that the main account holder has responded to your comment. So again, it's just a back and forth conversation that can be had regarding the form. Once everything is resolved and all parties are happy with the form, the reviewer can approve the return by clicking Approve the Return. They would type their name in up here, agree that they this marks as their electronic representation, and submit that. Now, again, the main account holder is going to be notified that the reviewer has approved the form. When we refresh over here on our main account, we'll see that it was approved by the reviewer. Now that's, again, the back and forth comments are from the My Account settings. If you're ready to go ahead and transmit, you can go back into your form. You'll see here that the reviewer has approved it. You can go ahead and click Next and proceed with filing your return. Now, the Tax 990 application does require a signature on the 8453 TE form. This is a new requirement by the IRS, and it's new this year. So a lot of clients that used us last year, this is new to you, but it's very simple. You click e-sign, agree to the terms, type in your name and your title, and then submit that and you can proceed. So it just takes one extra minute. And then we can transmit to the IRS. So again, if you do have questions on that process, I know that was a lot of information. So hopefully that's helpful for both you and the person that you're reviewing it with. We do have some helpful videos on it on our website as well, so check those out if you have other questions. Since the IRS has mandated e-filing, your organization is required to use an e-file provider to transmit your returns annually. The IRS mandates that all 990 forms be filed electronically, so choosing an IRS authorized provider is crucial. However, you should also keep in mind that features and tools they offer are also important in making the right choice for your organization. Just like choosing a technology-driven accounting software, choosing an e-file provider that meets your needs will streamline your reporting. Tax 990 is an IRS authorized e-file provider with over a decade of experience e-filing tax forms, and collectively, Tax 990 and its sister products offer the option to e-file over 70 different tax forms. With Tax Bandits, you can file business tax forms such as 1099s, W-2s, 941s, and we recently released the BOIR. With ACA-wise, you can electronically file your Affordable Care Act forms, which are the 1094 and 1095B and C forms. And with Express Extension, you can electronically file for an extension for business and personal taxes. If you have questions on any of those other products, please reach out to us and we'd be happy to provide you more information and get you in touch with their support team. E-filing with Tax 990 can be a very quick process. You can start by adding your organization, choosing the form you need to file, add the information, review the internal audit, share the return, and transmit it to the IRS. Today we're going to feature 3 spotlight features that Tax 990 offers. We do have some other webinars that go over all of our Tax 990 features in more detail, but today we're just going to spotlight these few. We do have the reference errors, as I mentioned in the form. If you do not meet all of the IRS e-file guidelines, it will indicate an error on your form that must be resolved before transmitting. This just helps confirm that you've met the IRS requirements. We have an extensive knowledge base and an extensive how-to video base. And we'll talk about that more in a minute, and I can show you where those things are. But at tax990.com, there are so many FAQs and how-to videos for different steps of the form, for different errors, for rejections, for processes and features. They're form-specific videos, so much good information. And let me just show you really quickly where to go to get that. When you visit tax990.com, when you go to support, we have our knowledge base and our videos available here. Again, so much information, and you can categorize it by form, by feature, by specific account type, so on and so forth. And there's just a lot of really helpful topics that are discussed, a lot of helpful Q&As, and same with our videos. On YouTube, we have a large amount of YouTube videos with how-to. All of our previous webinars are there on our YouTube page, testimonials from previous clients or current clients. So definitely check all of those tools out. It's very helpful, very informative, and can help get you through that e-file process. One of the best features we offer are the live customer support. Our live customer support is available Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. We have phone, email, and chat support. You won't have to be on hold or put on a callback list when you need assistance with your return. You can just reach out to us with using one of our communication tools, and we can help you along the way. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of the webinar, we can't provide specific tax advice, but we can answer questions on navigation, on completing the form, on basic understanding of the form guidelines, those types of things. The May 15th deadline is going to be here in the blink of an eye, so if you do have a May 15th deadline, go ahead and get started now so that you can obtain the best support that we have available. As I mentioned, check out our YouTube, our blog, our knowledge base, all of the really helpful tools that we have provided to our clients, to anybody searching Tax 990. Great information here. And we'll take our last couple minutes. I know we went over it just a little bit today, but I wanted to show you guys all of those steps. We'll take the last couple minutes for a Q&A. So if you want to go ahead and post your questions in the chat, and we will answer them here live. In the meantime, I am going to put that slide up with our support information. So while you're typing your questions, go ahead and jot down our email and our phone number so you can reach out to us while you're filing. Okay, so we have Jennifer asking, will a return be auto-shared? I'm not 100% sure what that means. I'm gonna give it a go though anyways. So if you share a return for a prior year with a specific individual, it will not automatically be shared with that same individual the following year. You do have to re-invite each reviewer each year that you file. Hopefully that was your question. That is a question we get in other scenarios. So hopefully that answered that for you. If not, just give us a call. We're happy to help with that. Okay. Are schedules included in the filing? Yes. I know we didn't talk about schedules today, but Tax 990 does offer all of the schedules, and they will auto-populate on your form for you at no additional charge. So you'll complete the schedules necessary for your organization. You mentioned prior years. What years can I file? Okay, so you can file 2021, 2022, and 2023 tax years at this time with Tax 990. We do offer the current and 2 prior years as a filing option. We'll do one more. We have a question on the comments section and who all can review the comments. So only the person you share it with can review the comments. If you share it with 4 people, not everybody in that group of 4 people will be able to see all of the comments. Only the person that commented and the Tax 990 account holder will view those comments. Okay, so that is all the time. We did run over a little bit today, so I apologize, but hopefully you had time to write down our contact information. Hopefully this webinar was helpful for you. We will post it on our website. We'll also have it on our YouTube channel, and we'll send an email out to everybody as a follow-up. So thank you guys so much for attending today. If you have questions, please reach out to us. Go ahead, get started on your forms now. Like I said, May 15th is going to be here before we know it, and we want to have all the time possible to get those forms done. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day.